Hi there. My name is Jessica. I live in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, which is just outside Toronto, and welcome to my channel. I am obviously new here, so bear with me, but I wanted to share a little bit about how I plan for grocery shopping and try to do the best that I can with the money that I have. I don't follow a very strict budget, but I do have a few tips and tricks that I always do when I'm grocery shopping. And in this day and age, it's even more important to be smart with how we're shopping so that our dollar can go further. New flyers come out in Ontario on Wednesdays. Flyers don't start until Thursdays. However, sometimes I get really eager and I like to look at them early. And I always shop by flyers. I think it's the only way to shop in Canada. I think the States is probably a little bit different. I know other countries can be different, but in Canada, if you don't shop by flyers, what are you doing? We also have price matching here. So you can go to one store and get the sale price for something else if it's the exact same product. And I have 3 stores that are in my vicinity, and I choose which store I'm gonna mainly shop at based on the sales. Usually it's No Frills, but I also have a Loblaws and a Superstore near me, so I take a look at those flyers as well. If one of those stores has a really good sale on something, then I will shop at that one instead. So I've got up here my 3 flyers, No Frills, Superstore, and Loblaws. And as you can see, there's a weekly flyer for Jan 9th to the 15th, which is this week's flyer. And then there's also a preview flyer for next week, the 16th to the 22nd. So I'm going to click on that. And I have a notebook that I keep my lists in. I've been doing this recently. I used to just keep it on like a piece of paper, but I've been liking keeping a notebook because I can track prices. Like if I want to go back in 6 months and look at what something was costing in January, then I'll have my notebook. So I'm going to write the date at the top, which it's January 15th, 2025. And then I'm going to write NF at the top of this list for No Frills. And I'm just going to scroll through this flyer and write down anything that looks interesting to me. I may not buy all these things, but I just want to know what's there. So first thing on here is blackberries for $1.49. My partner likes to make drinks from those sometimes, so I'm going to write that down. Cauliflower for $1.99 is pretty good. I haven't had cauliflower wings in a long time. I don't generally buy tomatoes out of season. Papaya is not something I use. Whole chickens, that's a really good price, but I have a couple in the freezer, and I'm trying to use up what we have in the freezer right now, so I'm going to hold off on that. Cheese at $4.77. It's a good price. So I'll write it down. I don't actually need any, but it's nice to know. Frozen broccoli, I always write these down when they're on. I probably won't need any. I do need deep frying oil, so veggie oil. Like I said, my partner's a deep fryer, so. So here I'm just going through the flyer and writing down everything I find interesting. Like I said, I may not buy all of these things, but I do want to have them written down in case I change my meal plan or something else comes up and I decide, oh yeah, that sale that was on at that store, I'll grab a couple of those, or I want to get a couple extras just in case. For example, I wrote down ketchup because I like to always have a backup of condiments. But I hadn't gone through my pantry or fridge yet to see if I had a backup already. So I did want to write it down just in case I wanted to grab it. I also wanted to clarify something. Price matching is when a store has something on sale and you find the exact same product at a different store that offers price matching. You can get that item for the sale price. So for example, if I was looking at the No Frills flyer and they had ketchup on sale for $4.99, but then I decided that I wanted to go shopping at Superstore, which is a store that offers price matching, If I can find that exact same brand and size of ketchup bottle at Superstore, I can show them the No Frills flyer and they will put the price into their system at the sale price from No Frills. So it's a really good way to limit the number of grocery stores that I have to visit while also getting really good sale prices. So then next I'm just going to put a new heading on here that's for Superstore. And I'm going to do this exact same thing through all the flyers. Okay, so this is my final list for this week. I do sometimes write things on more than, like the same item on more than one store, because sometimes it turns out that there's more sales at the other store, so I would rather get it there than somewhere else. Next thing I do is go through my pantry and my fridge to see if there's anything that I really need to use up this week. So again, real life fridge, real life. I actually think we're doing pretty good right now. I've got some rice that I just made. This is a loaf I'm gonna have for dessert tonight. I'm even running pretty low on eggs. I have one leek in here that I used to make leek and mushroom quiche last week, which was really good. But I also have all this leftover leek and mushroom mix, which I'll have to make some pasta to put with that soon. So I should use this up, but I can just use that as an onion replacement in whatever I make. I do need to have sandwiches, so I have a pack of fake cold cuts. They're really bad for you, yes I know, and I love them. I don't say I love them, but they're really nice to have. I miss having cold cut sandwiches, so I have those. But I'll probably use this as weekend food because I like having snacks, and then I'll make bread this weekend. Oh, I have a pack of miso in here. I need to use this miso, so I need to think of something to do with this. And when I'm planning my meals, I'm planning 2 to 3 types of meals, and I eat the same thing every day. So I'll make a big batch of something, I'll take that every day for lunch, Monday to Friday, and then I'll generally make a big batch of something or prepare the idea of something, and I'll eat that every day, Monday to Friday, for dinner. For my pantry, I do know in here there's some quinoa that I kind of want to use up, so that might be my grain this week. Have another bag because this will not be enough for 5 meals. No. I also have these instant noodles that I should get through, but they're kind of poor. Well, not kind of. They're very poor nutrition, so if I eat too many of them in a row, I feel kind of sick. Yeah, quinoa is the only thing in there. And then I do a fair bit of canning, so this is all stuff that is home canned, and I am trying to work through this, but I don't think there's anything in there that I can really use. I do have some marinara sauce that I want to get through, and some corn relish that I would like to get through. Ooh, maybe I'll do like a quinoa burrito bowl. That would be good. I have some black beans. I would finish those off. That's an idea. I also have salsa in there that is really good. I thought we were going to go through it super fast because it was so good, but we both kind of went through a phase and then we stopped, so that's fine. This is the last pantry I have. This is just like all backstore stuff that I don't need to have in the front pantry. So there's some coconut milk up there, barbecue sauce, lots of condiments. I've got pickling salts back here. Anyways, this squash needs to go. I want to can some of it, but I was gonna make like a lentil braised butternut squash dish, or maybe I could do like a butternut squash orzo dish. So now I've got my ideas. So I've got the butternut squash I want to use, the quinoa. I think that's it. I'm gonna have sandwiches on the weekend. I was saying that I eat the same thing every day, Monday to Friday for lunch. I've never been one that's like eeked about leftovers, so that works really well for me because I can come home and I never have to cook, which I'm super happy about. Like if I had to come home and prep lunch for the next day, I could not do that. I don't know how people do that. I mean, I could do it, I just would detest it. So it's worth it to me to eat the same thing so I don't have to think about it. My partner does the exact same thing, so we both make our own food and then eat our own food for the week. And then we usually eat our meals together, but they're different meals. It just works better that way because of our very different diets. So next step I'm going to do is some research. I'm going to look at the burrito bowls will be super easy. I know that I have like a skillet quinoa burrito type dish, Mexican casserole type thing. Ooh, a casserole would be good. So I'll look that up, and then I'll also look at this like lentil butternut squash. I'll just do a quick Google search for some recipes and get some inspiration, and then I will create a shopping list based on those meals. So whatever I need, and then some. Like I will get some treats for myself, like the Boathouse juices. I'll probably grab a couple of those. We've been buying 2 every week and really enjoying them. And they're on sale for the entire month, so we'll probably do that for the entire month. So yeah, the Boathouse juices, and then probably like some other snacky stuff. But we're trying to really limit our grocery shopping right now, just as like a test for ourselves. So I'm gonna try and limit what I buy. But I'll see you when I have a full grocery list for this week. Hello from editing me. So upon editing this video, I realized that I never finished it, but I did pull up my list from that week and I did want to finish the video. So I ended up adding quite a few things onto my grocery list. There's this section on the side of all the things I actually plan to buy. And my meals for this week ended up being the Mexican casserole with the quinoa and all that stuff. And I ended up doing some salmon bowls. So I found this really good recipe for a miso marinated salmon. I've made it a couple of times since and it's so good. I marinate it and put it in the freezer and that works really well. So I had that cucumber in the fridge. You might have seen me pick it up, but I needed to use that up. So I bought some frozen edamame and I used that as like a secondary protein. I did a miso salmon. I had mango in the freezer from last year that I want to use, but also is delicious. And then I did the cucumber and those bowls, and then I just paired that with some rice. Those bowls were really good. I would definitely make those again. And then I did the sandwiches and I made some pasta and used that leftover leek and mushroom mixture to eat with the pasta, and that with the sandwiches was my weekend food, and then the Mexican casserole was my lunch. I didn't end up using the butternut squash until a couple of weeks after I made this video, and I ended up making my partner's trini, and so we really like pumpkin with roti. So we ended up just making a big batch of pumpkin. We ate a little bit on the day that we made it, and then we froze it in little containers and put it in the freezer so that in the future when we want it, we can just take some of that out. We bought some roti, put it in the freezer. So we'll just take a package of roti and a container of pumpkin out whenever we want a little pumpkin snack, and that'll be really delicious. So it was a great way to preserve that squash, and that squash I actually bought from a farmer's market, and it stayed good for obviously several months after I bought it, and it was so sweet and so good. So I'm really looking forward next year to buying some more and preserving them. So I know this video was the lighting was not great and my speech was a little bit slow, but thank you for bearing with me. If you ended up watching this video, it'll go down in my logs as my first video, which I think for everyone is terrible, and I'm okay with that. But anyways, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Comment below what your go-to meals are or what you use miso for, because I am really looking for recipes to use up the rest of that miso. I've had it for several years. It never really goes bad, but I do want to use it. So if you have anything that you use miso for, please let me know. And again, thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.